Hey everyone, and welcome to your fifth C++ tutorial. And in this one we will be going over variables, what they are, and how you can use them. Just to go over real quick what a variable is, in case you don't know already. It's just something, it's basically a placeholder, and in this case it's just a letter for being a placeholder for a number. This is just a real basic math problem that you might see in your middle school, high school classes here. Just to go over real quick what it is. This x right here would be considered the variable. The variable equals 5. So if there was a math problem saying 5 plus x equals what? Well, we know x equals 5. So this is just a placeholder. You replace it with the 5 that you know it is, and it's 5 plus 5 equals 10. So yeah, that's my quick explanation of what a variable is. Now let's get into the technical way to how they should look and how you should write them. This right here, variable type, is where you put the type of data it's going to be. There's many different types of them, but the most common ones are probably integers, or int as we've been using, char, bools, bool, floats, double. Yeah, those are just a few common ones, but right now we'll stick with integers, or the int that we're so used to by now. So that is the variable type. That's what data goes in there. Then variable name. You can name it basically anything you want. There's a short list of names you can't use, but there's a whole lot you can use. You could basically name it anything you want. And this top section right here, this example, would be what you would want to use if you want the user to assign a number or characters to your variable. This bottom one with this initial value at the end, this would be the type of variable you want to use if you want to assign a number or text or characters or anything of that sort. So this one without an initial value, that's basically lets people type in whatever they want. The type with an initial value is the type you are setting up from the start. And I'll show you the one with the initial value first. So first off, we're going to type our the variable, the data type, which is int for integer. We'll give it a name. You can name it anything you want. It could be x, it could be y. We'll name it anything because we can name it anything we want. And remember, we're going to have this we're going to set this to have an initial value. So the integer or variable anything will equal, it has to equal a number. So let's just do 30. So now we have our variable set with this statement right here. And let's just go ahead and print it out on the screen to test it out. And we all know that by now. It's cout, less than. And by the way, these less than signs I keep saying, it's technically called an insertion operator. That's what that is. And the ones for cin, or greater than, that's called an extraction operator. You really don't need to know that, but just in case you're wondering. So anyway, cout less than. Since we're only going to print out our variable here, you don't need to put quotations, you don't need to put dashes, you don't need to put anything except for the variable name. And actually, in this case, it's called anything. And we end it with our semicolon like always. And let's test and run this. And can you guess before it loads up what it's going to do? Let's see if you guessed right. Right here, what's that going to do? If you guessed print out 30, then you are correct. Because all it's doing is taking our assigned variable, which is 30, and yeah, it's printing it out onto print out our variable. And that's all it does, is prints out 30. So that is how you set a variable with an initial value. To do it without and have your user type in something, which it will store in your program, and your user can call upon that later, we type in the data type we want again, which is int, name of a variable, we will call it user input. And you can't have space. You can't really have spaces in here. You could put these underscores. You can put that, but we'll just leave it simple. And for we don't set the equal to initial value, nothing. We just put the data type, integer, the variable name, which is user input, and I'll show you how to use this real quick. We'll finally get to use our cin we've been talking about so much. Alright, so we want the user to type something in. So now that will be cin, and whatever they type in is going to be equal to user input. Then we will end that there. And we have to, actually we have to type something out to make sure it's working. So, oops, user input. And we'll just end line like we always do and go like this. Alright, so let's try this and run it, see if it works. And once again, let's take a quick guess on what this program is going to do. Walk through it side by side, step by step. Alright, we have a variable here. It has no initial value, but we know it's going to be an integer because that's the data type, and we know the variable name is called user input. Now here is actually where our program starts. It's cin, which means pretty much type in, and whatever you type in is going to be equal to user input. So this placeholder is going to be replaced by whatever we type in. And then on the next line we have cout, which means type out, and it's going to type out our variable here. So let's try this. We will try 55. Remember, right now we're on this step, cin. We're typing in 55. We're going to hit enter, and the only thing it's going to do is go to the next line and print out 55 for us. See what it did? Hopefully you understand that. If not, just watch this again real quick and you'll probably get it. So that is how you do a variable with an initial value and with no initial value. And if you want to make this look a little bit more fancy for your users, basically what you can do is let's go before our cin, and we could type a prompt to pop on our screen. That's cout, and put, please enter a number. This you can end the line to make it pop up on the next line, or you can not end your line and you could type in your number next to your sentence here. But we're going to end it and go to the next line, and let's run this real quick. And while we're waiting, can you guess again what it's going to do? Walk through it step by step again. We're right here. Cout, your computer's going to type out, please enter a number, which it did perfectly. It's going to end line, go to the next line. Now it's waiting for you to type something in. Cin. Whatever you type in, all it's going to do is replace your variable called user input. So, do it again. Type in 55. So we're typing in 55. It's going to replace user input. And now when we press enter, the next line is going to spit out our data back to us. 55. And there you go. It's as simple as that. Hopefully you guys understand it, and like I said, if not, just watch it a few more times and I'm sure you'll get it. So stick around for the next video, and I'll see you then.